Hey, welcome to episode 260 of Awkwardly Awesome Podcast. Today's episode is entitled Surrogate Grandparents. And my guest today has this profound quote, which I'll read to you before I bring her on. The quote is, if my grandson ever learns about me, it is my biggest hope that he'll also learn how his existence shaped who I am, strengthening my kindness, deepening my compassion, and inspiring me to build a community rooted in connection, understanding, hope, and love. Everything I created began with him. I'm so excited and honored to bring my guest on today. She has a powerful story, but first, this.
Today's guest, Donna Skora.
Well, welcome back. Please help me welcome Donna Skora. Hey, Donna, welcome to Awkwardly Awesome Podcast.
Hi, Jason. Very nice to be here. Thank you for having me.
So I get curious about people's backstory. So you're from the Midwest?
Yes. Want me to continue?
Yeah, please.
Okay, yeah. We're from the Illinois area. My husband and I. He was raised there, so was I. And we moved to Florida about 6 years ago. Been married now 52 years. We have an adult son and an adult daughter. We are close with our daughter. Unfortunately, due to circumstances beyond our control, we have no connection with our son at this time.
What was it like raising kids? I mean, first of all, what's the age difference between your two kids?
5 years. I was I was 19 when I first had Jeremy. We had been married about a year. And then Tiffany was born 5 years later. And so it was a 5-year age difference. And I thought it was going well. They had a regular upbringing. We supported them through school. It seemed like a normal, raising a family. What I expected of it. Didn't have any real heartaches raising the kids. They were both really good kids. So.
And you worked as a paralegal too, right?
Yes, I did. After we moved to Florida, which was, oh goodness, about 38 years ago.
What for someone who's never worked as a paralegal? How would you describe that work?
It's highly stressful. A lot of deadlines. Depending on the area of law you're in. I enjoyed it. I learned a lot. Worked in a lot of different areas of law. Estate planning and probate seemed to be my favorite out of everything I did. And it's just, it's a high pressure job. You're working for attorneys. There's deadlines. You got to keep the clients happy.
A side story, I asked you to tell an interesting detail about your life, and you said you decided to grow your fingernails very long at one point. What was that like?
Oh my God. Shortly after our daughter was born, she's now 45. I had my nails done. I had them done 2 weeks later for the fill-in work, and I watched and I observed and I taught myself how to do my own nails. So from that point on, I did my own nails. I just recently cut them down. They used to be an inch long over my tips of my fingers. They're now maybe closer to a half inch, a little bit less. And I painted them outlandish colors and designs. It was just me.
They used to be an inch long.
Yes, they were.
Uh, this is a side note. How do you learn to navigate daily life with inch long nails?
You know, you start out not with them being an inch long. They're long, but and then you kind of work your way into them being that long as you end up doing them, and you get used to it. I can put in the tiniest pieces of jewelry into the holes in my ears with the long nails within seconds. Didn't bother me. So,
So
I know.
interesting.
And I typed 90 words a minute.
Wow. So interesting. Some years ago, you and your husband got news that a grandson was going to be born into this world.
Yeah.
What was it like the day you heard that news?
We were very happy, very excited. It we were looking forward to having a grandchild. And I just remember growing up with my grandparents, and my husband remembers growing up with his grandparents, and what the connections were like, what the relationships were like. And I wanted to be able to have like that with our grandchild. So we were
What
looking very much forward to it.
what are a few of your favorite memories of growing up with your grandparents?
Oh my God, at least with me. My grandparents lived in the same town. We spent a lot of time at their house. They would come to our house. We would have holiday meals together. In fact, when I first started going to school, I would stay at her house during the day after I got off of school. So I would be brought there in the morning. I'd walk to school, come to her house after school, stay there until my parents got done with work, and they would pick me up. So fond memories of being very close with grandma and grandpa at their house when I wasn't in school. It was just it was a good, warm memories. The relationships with grandparents are a lot different than with your own parents. It's a whole different ball game.
How are the relationships with grandparents usually different than the relationships kids have with parents?
Well, grandparents, it's like I love them, I want to be with them, but the good thing is I can send them home. But I don't know. You can relay your childhood memories to the grandchild, so they have an idea of where they came from, because they have an idea of where you came from, and how it was. It's very hard to explain. I just I don't know. I just I had a really good relationship with my grandparents. When my husband and I got married, I had a great relationship with his mother, my mother-in-law, very, very close to her. And I kind of envisioned that when our son was married and him and his wife had their child.
On the day of your grandson's birth, you and your husband couldn't be at the hospital.
Right. It was a 90-mile drive or 90-minute drive. And we couldn't make it. It was difficult because she was being induced. So, we had, and we didn't know when the baby was going to be born. It takes a while when you're in the hospital, even when they induce a birth, for the child to come out. So we couldn't make it, but we had anticipated visiting and being with them after they brought the baby home. And
The,
unfortunately,
this next question gives me a stomach ache. Unfortunately, you got a text from your son instead.
yeah, it was a text message that basically said you've lost a son, a grandson, and a nephew, meaning his sister being, the aunt to the grandson. Uh, that's what that text said, and then shortly after, another text that said grandparents have no rights, and that's kind of when we were erased, the whole family.
Did at the time did your son give any reason?
None to speak of. He just didn't want to communicate with us, unfortunately. And then, they were like tied up with the baby and that, and kept trying to reach out to them, trying to see if we could reconcile, heal, you know, um, apologize for whatever it was we did or didn't do. And it was just total silence. There was nothing um, that whatever we did that would that opened them up to us to open up communication. It was like the doors, closed, slammed shut, locked, um, and there was just like no dealing with it. There was no getting around it. I can't tell you how many times I reached out, hoping for reconciliation, trying to apologize. What can we do to fix this? And it was just we were met with silence. And it's been 11 years, almost 12.
What's it like to be met with silence from someone you deeply love and care about?
It is heartbreaking. It is painful. I've gone through a lot of grief. I've gone through a bit of anger. I have to admit, I've had moments where I've been angry, moments I've been sad. You're grieving for someone who's still alive. I never thought that our son would disconnect from us. It didn't occur to me that he would do that. But it's the situation he's in.
You as part of your grieving process, you volunteered at a hospital.
Yes, I did. I volunteered cuddling babies at the local women's and children's hospital one night a week, which was an absolutely awesome experience. I would feed the babies, change the babies, cuddle the babies, and of course help the nurses little tasks so they would have their hands free to take care of the babies. I would spend hours with a baby on my lap, in my arms, in the quiet, low-lit darkness of the room that they stayed in, cuddling them and talking to them. And I would even ask them at some point, where their guardian angels were. And there were many, many times these babies, they would open their eyes and smile when I would ask them that. It's like they saw the guardian angel. They were trying to point where the guardian angel was. Maybe I read into it a little bit too much, but it was a very bright spot in a very dark time for me.
What other happy memories do you have from being on that floor with the babies?
Just getting to know the other baby cuddlers that were on schedule, the nurses, the doctors, watching them work. And, as I would be there trying to take care of the little things that the nurses and the doctors didn't have time for, we would make sure everything was available for them. And the babies would have, their little drawers stocked with all their necessities. We'd, of course, then step in and feed the babies. But it was quite an education because many of these babies were drug addicted babies. And I could tell within seconds of picking up a baby whether the baby was drug addicted. I got used to what it was like picking up a child that's going through drug withdrawals. It's heartbreaking. It is absolutely heartbreaking. And some of these babies need cuddling almost 24/7 as they're going through the withdrawals, because the doctors put them on two different kinds of medication to get them off the drugs that they're addicted to, and then they have to go through the withdrawal period of being taken off the drugs that they were given to counteract the drugs they were trying to be taken off of. So it's a double whammy for these little babies.
And of course, a baby has no understanding of any
No.
of what's going on.
No, they're uncomfortable, they're crying, they have tremors, their muscles stiffen up. In fact, there was one newborn child when I went in one night, and the nurse was holding the baby up in front of her, and the baby's legs were stiff. And if she took her hands off the baby would have stood up. That's how stiff the legs were. And I said, "That's amazing." She says, "No, that's drug addiction." So it's heartbreaking. And yeah, it was quite an education for me.
What caused you to start to do research about grandparent estrangement?
Well, I didn't like being estranged from our grandchild and our son, so I started researching the internet about estrangement. And the more I researched it, the more I looked into it, the more I learned about grandparent alienation estrangement. It's grandparent alienation syndrome. And there's about, I would have to say there's about 70 million people estranged from a family member, from one or more family members. I do believe the estimation of grandparents that are alienated are about 4 million. And it could be for any number of reasons. There's no rhyme or reason for it. I just don't understand it, and it's become it's an epidemic not only in this country, but in the world.
Then you found a group, and was that group in Great Britain?
Well, that group was located in the United Kingdom, and it was called Surrogate Grandparents. And when I joined it and got to see how it was being operated and what they were doing, I'm going, I think I can do this, because they were only in the UK. There was nothing in this country like that group. I do believe there was one entity, I don't know what it was called, but they tried matching surrogate grandparents with families, and they got so many lawyers involved that it just became overwhelming for them to operate it. So they shut the site down. It just wasn't working for them. So this group kind of like, I thought, well, I can do this group on Facebook, and I called it Surrogate Grandparents USA, and I created it, and that was January of 2015.
Okay. Let's talk about this for a sec, because this is like a huge deal. Donna, so many of us, me included, have ideas to make things better for ourselves and others, and sometimes, too often, we talk ourselves out of these ideas. Did you go through that phase of like, I'm not sure if I should do this?
No, I didn't. The moment I started seeing how the group operated and thought about doing it myself, the more excited I got, because I thought, well, if I can get something going here in this country and have it cover the entire country, big undertaking.
How did you get the idea of basing the group on Facebook?
Facebook has its really good points and really bad points. But there are many, many help groups on Facebook, support groups on Facebook. And I think I wanted to do something where maybe people could connect with grandparents missing grandchildren, but also as a way for people to kind of like support each other going through the same thing. So it just kind of like snowballed. It grew from one little tiny idea, a few prayers to God about doing something positive with my life because I didn't know where everything was going. I didn't know when I would ever see their grandchild, when I would ever meet him. So I had to do something to keep myself busy, keep my mind occupied, hopefully to help others besides ourselves. And it just kind of took off. By June of 2015, we had 30 members, and now we're up to almost 14,000.
14,000.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. Um. So how would you describe what happens on the Facebook page to someone who hasn't been there?
Okay, well, they request to join the group through the Facebook page, and they will be asked two simple questions. How did they hear about the group, and why do they want to join? And so they answer both questions, and then we receive the request to join. And I have numerous admins working alongside me, and we go through the requests. Once we accept them, to join, then they have full access to all the resources on the group page. Every time new members join, and I do a welcome new member post, there's what's called a helpful links document, which has links for all the different areas of the group for them to go to navigate themselves through the group. So we have links for each state album throughout the United States. A state album meaning the person that they live there. They can go into that state album, add pictures and an introduction of themselves. They can also do the same thing on the group page, pictures and an introduction. And then, of course, the other members that are already in the group, they like seeing these posts introducing other people, and they can make comments. They can say they want to reach out to the people. And it just kind of like, that's how easy it is. And of course, we're there to help. So there are a lot of questions when people join because it can almost seem overwhelming to some people. And we try to keep it as simple as possible. So the helpful links document is extremely crucial for them to navigate the group page and figure out different areas to go on the page so they can find them.
Am I understanding this correctly, Donna? You never would suggest a match.
No, I don't. I am concerned about liability issues. So we have a very good liability waiver, and we try to make people understand that by joining the group and participating, they've signed the liability waiver. It's not a dating service. It's just a group where people can put themselves out there on the page, say, this is where I'm from, this is where I live, this is what I'm looking for. Is there anybody out there, that would like to possibly connect or see if we can, if our connection would work, it would be a successful connection. In fact, when somebody wants to reach out to somebody on the group page and they send them a personal message saying, I'm reaching out to you for a possible connection, we also suggest that they put a post on the page tagging that person. That way that person will be notified when they're tagged that, oh, there's a message for me, so I need to go to check all my message inboxes, because everybody has 3 message inboxes with Facebook.
You mentioned that you to me when we talked before that you strongly suggest people do their own background checks.
Definitely. We don't have the resources. I mean, I'm covering the entire United States. Each state has different resources. So the person living in that state would be more aware of the resources. I can help find them for the, but we do suggest that, to feel more secure about the person they're trying to connect with, have a background check done. It's very reasonably priced at their local law enforcement office. And then, just as they're meeting the people and getting to know them, it's like they're forming a friendship. So take it slow. Don't rush into it. Don't believe it's going to be an overnight fix. Get to know the person, get to know who they are, work on a friendship, and then go from there. Because once you build up a friendship and build trust, the rest of the connection goes a lot easier.
I mean, that's good advice for life in general, too.
Yeah, I mean, treat it like, I mean, use your gut instinct. When you meet up with somebody, normally, if you don't like them, there's something wrong with them, you can tell. That's your gut instinct. You know, don't go any further with that person. It's just common sense.
In the last few minutes, we've talked a lot about the logistics of the website and how it works. But but now I would like to talk about the what the website can create. Can could you please share that success story you told me about
Sure.
before?
I do have a success story set aside that they gave me permission to share, so I will share it with you. I do have to ask permission. I don't want to surprise anybody in the group. It's just because privacy is an issue. Anyways, the story that I'm going to share with you, it's a story about Melanie and Liberty. Melanie has been a member of Surrogate Grandparents USA since 2023. She has 3 grown children with whom she's very close. None are married yet, and there are no grandchildren, at least not for now. Still, she felt she had so much time, love, and care to give and wanted to be a positive part of some young family's life. Liberty joined Surrogate Grandparents USA in 2022. With both her parents having passed away, she was hoping to find a mom or grandparent figure for herself and her new baby. Neither of us could have imagined that a simple Facebook post would lead to someone who would completely change our lives. As we began finding what began as finding a surrogate grandma blossomed into something so much deeper. Through the most unexpected place, we truly found family. Now we can't imagine our lives without Melanie and her daughter. Not only did our son gain a grandma and an aunt who absolutely adore him, but we both gained a mom too. It feels so natural, like she was always meant to be part of our family. We are endlessly grateful for the beautiful bond we share. Family isn't always the one you're born into. Sometimes it's the one you find in the most unexpected places. The people meant to be in your life have a way of finding you when you need them most. So don't give up. Keep your heart open. You deserve to find the family that feels like home. Thank you so much again. Yeah. So that was a post of a success story that really touched my heart. Well, they all touched my heart.
Could you please say more? The whole story is wonderful, but the line, "You deserve to find a family that feels like home," stood out to me. Could you please say a little more about that?
Well, I mean, she wrote it. So I was reading her words, the story that she wanted to share. So I'm, family that feels like home. I mean, when you find the family that you can connect with and be comfortable with and a bond forms, I mean, it does feel like home. You feel comfortable. My heart just is so full every time one of these stories are shared on our page. It just, I can't say enough about how good it makes me feel that what I'm doing is having a positive effect on so many people.
No, not in a huge positive effect. I mean, like that success story is about lives being changed for the
Hmm.
better for
Yeah.
in the long term. That's amazing.
Yeah. I my heart always is so full whenever somebody posts one, and I read it, and it just does my heart a lot of good. I get a lot of messages from members thanking me for starting the group. So um, it just makes me feel good that I'm doing something that is doing so well out there, and people and people are enjoying being in it.
In general, what would you say for surrogate grandparents offer offer the grandchildren offer surrogate grandchildren?
I'm sorry, I didn't get that question.
Yeah, in general, what would you say that surrogate grandparents add to their adopted grandchildren's lives?
Well, an intergenerational bond that families miss when there's no grandparents. Um, somebody, a grandmother or grandfather figure that can just spend a little extra time with the children, going to their soccer games, attending their school functions, going to their school plays, a quick telephone conversation at the end of a school day. All these little things that are done for the children means a lot to them. It's something that they wouldn't have if those people weren't in their lives. Um, it just I it's hard to explain. It's hard to put it all in one idea. There's so many different facets, because so many people now are finding relationships, surrogate aunts, surrogate uncles, surrogate brothers, sisters, surrogate parents. We've opened up to foster children who've aged out of the foster care system, looking for families. It just, and then of course all the positive posts on the page. It helps everybody feel love and support.
And it's not a one-way street.
Mm-mm.
It occurs to me, what do these adopted grandchildren offer to their grandparents?
Um, as we get older, it's nice to see children. It's nice to hear the laughter of children.
Mm.
It's nice to interact with a child. Um, as we become of grandparent age, and you're living in like 55 plus communities, you don't see a lot of young families. You don't see a lot of children. So when you see them in the area, it gives you a good feeling. Maybe makes you feel a little young again. You play with the kid in the pool, and or you play a game, and it kind of brings you back to your childhood a little bit too. It offers so much. It's a two-way street between both sides.
It can be a huge win-win, huh?
For all sides, yes, it's a win-win situation for all when it works out, definitely.
What words of encouragement would you give someone who's who's had another family member cut them off?
Mm. I would definitely say accept the moments when you grieve, when you're angry. um, accept them, let them happen, don't dwell on them. Definitely find ways of keeping yourself busy, find ways of doing things that are positive. um, and then just allow yourself to kind of accept what's going on. I mean, unless you can, work out a reconciliation with the family member, I think that's great. I love to see that happen. but there are the family member estrangements that reconciliation never happens. So just take you have to learn how to heal and move forward. Otherwise, you're stuck where you started. You can't move forward. You can't heal, and you're dwelling and wallowing in this, I guess, thing of feeling bad for yourself, feeling sorry for yourself, feeling like you're the victim. And the only way to enjoy life is try to heal, try to move forward, find things that you can try to heal through. It's not easy, it's a journey.
Did you have any moments in your journey with this where you were tempted to wallow and just get stuck in the why me, why my family?
I've had numerous moments like that. It happens. But you know what? It's a little farther and fewer in between now. I mean, we're going on 12 years now. Um, I kind of settled in and accepted what's happened. But I would love to see a change. I would love to reconcile with our son, and I'd love to meet our grandson. But it's only going to happen if he wants to. So I have to live life. I have to try and live life the best way I can and make the best of it. But yes, I had many moments of sadness, many moments of anger, many moments of grief, and then they pass.
It's so this is such a good lesson for all of us. I think whether it involves family members or sickness or or financial things
Hmm.
going on unexpectedly. We can either get stuck in what didn't go away and the imperfection of it
Yeah,
all,
it is very
and
easy.
really build our lives around
Hmm.
being angry and sad about that, or
Right.
else we can move forward.
Absolutely. And I'm still going to have moments. I'm going to have many of those moments. They happen. That's part of life. It's part of our emotional makeup. It's how we deal with those moments.
You mentioned in an early email that there's a lot of when surrogate grandparents and adopted grandchildren. I keep saying grandparents, but it's surrogate aunt and uncle as parents.
Mhm.
But you mentioned that these relationships don't always go perfectly.
Oh, no.
How does imperfection play a role?
Well, I
Role
mean,
oftentimes.
everybody has their emotions. Everybody deals with things they disagree with differently. Um, just like families, just like blood families, these connections that are made, they're not always going to be perfect. There may be some disagreements. You may discover after about a year that the connection just isn't working, and that does happen. Um, so, and I know it's a disappointment when it does happen, but then you try to move on. Maybe you were only put in that person's life for that amount of time for a reason that you'll never know about. You know.
Mm.
So, as much as I'd love every connection to be 100% successful for the rest of their lives, things happen, and the connections do sometimes fall apart.
As we already.
Absolutely, we're human. And we have to accept each other's imperfections along with everything else. And it's how you deal with those imperfections. Sorry, I have a dog here.
Speaking of imperfections, what have you done to create a drama-free Facebook group?
We monitor every post, every comment made. And many members do too. So when I'm the ones that I miss in the middle of the night, I'll see a message or I'll see a complaint going, there's been a complaint made about this comment. So the page definitely stays drama free. We do not allow any conversations. We don't allow conversations or lengthy conversations about estrangement. The group is meant for healing. You can talk about that stuff outside the group. We don't allow political talk. We don't allow religious talk. I strongly urge that members, when they type something, I'm sorry, I think my husband's home. I strongly urge members, when they post something, before they post it, read it, make sure that it sounds good. I'm so sorry, Jason. I think my husband's home. That's why she's barking. So yeah, I mean, we're just very, very, I would have to say, strict about stuff that's posted on the page, things that are talked about. It's about healing, moving forward. Connections want to be made. We're going to focus on what connections want to be made, what they're looking for, and then just kind of go from there and save the everyday stuff that can cause drama for outside the group page.
What do you do with inappropriate comments?
Inappropriate comments, anything to do political. Hang on a second. I'm so sorry, Jason. Oh, we're not done yet, Rick. Yeah. No, I'm just letting you know. So anyways, so where was I?
What do you do with inappropriate comments?
Oh, inappropriate comments, they get taken off. They're deleted. And if people add a lot of drama to the posts, come up with maybe a little name calling or just snarky attitudes, those comments are deleted. I want everybody to work on getting along and just the positive, upbeat part of the page. And you know, it's been working. Whatever I'm doing, it's working. Whatever we all are doing, it's working. And I think the group members appreciate it too.
Do you need to explain to the commenter why the comment's been deleted?
In many cases, we don't, because we also have certain keywords. So somebody may post a comment where a keyword is picked up and it's held back in a pending for us to look at it and decide whether or not it should be posted. And like I said, members will also complain.
Oh, so you can, with keywords, you can stop some of the comments from even being posted.
Right. Yeah. Which helps.
What ideas would you give someone who's interested in creating a Facebook group?
What ideas? I guess just be persistent. Well, you know, get an idea, put it together, and keep going ahead with it. Make changes where necessary. But my group grew the way it did because I found ways of advertising it and spreading the word various areas on Facebook, which really helped in the beginning. But it takes time to grow a group. A lot of time and a lot of work and a lot of effort.
Were there any moments when you were like frustrated about how the group was growing or not growing fast enough?
No, I don't recall any of those moments. You know, just like it was a one-day thing at a time, and just trying to spread the word in various areas and enjoying the requests to join that would come in. And and then I would just reach out other ways to try and spread word of the group. And other people, members of the group, are also spreading the word as well, which helps.
So you created this group helping like people you'll never even meet. How has the group also changed you and your perspective on life?
That's a tough question. I think as far as the group grows, I have a lot more patience when it comes to what the members do, how I react to it. Maybe also because most of them adhere to the rules, and there's not a lot of things that get posted that that causes an issue. Um, and then there are times the group just kind of runs itself, and so yeah, no, I don't think I have an answer for your question.
But has I guess maybe I asked the question way, but has the group giving you hope and humanity?
Yeah, definitely. The positive nature of the group, the upbeat, the upbeat background of it gives me a lot of hope because everybody in there, when they post things, for the most part, they're good posts, upbeat posts, nice posts. Um, yeah, I mean, they all seem to be the ones that are participating seem to be very good people. Um, so yeah,
Well, Donna, I just keep coming back. I to it. It's just great how you had this idea and you went for it. What would you say to someone who has the idea that they think would help people, including themselves, but they keep talking themselves out of it?
I would just say go for it, do it. I didn't hesitate. I saw what I wanted to start, created it without having created one before, and just kind of went from there. It was like a learning experience.
I like the idea of viewing it as just a learning experience.
It has been a learning experience. I learned quite a bit from doing it, and from running it, and yeah, it has exceeded my expectations, and it keeps exceeding my expectations because I have no idea where it's going to go, how big it's going to grow, and there's always room.
We recently, speaking of it growing big, you got an opportunity to have your group featured on CBS Mornings.
We did.
What? How did the opportunity come your way?
Well, I would have to say a year ago, I came across Lisa Ling, and she was working for, I think she was working for CBS, or she was just leaving the last job she had, and she was going into CBS, and she was looking for ideas. I presented her with my idea, and she hung on to it, and then she reached out to me about 6 months later and said, "I want to do a piece on this." And that's kind of how it happened and how I got started. So it was I just hit the right person, and she liked the idea.
What was it like getting that email where she said she wanted to go with the idea?
Well, at first I wasn't sure if it was her, but yeah. Then I realized it was her, and it came from her personally, and she wanted my number so we could talk, and I gave her my number, and we set up a time. And then it just kind of went from there. We had a great conversation. She's a lovely lady. A couple really good conversations, and she had a lovely staff that worked with her. And it all came together and came out really nice. I was very proud of it and very pleased.
You had to be patient though. It was 6 months between the first conversation and.
Yeah, I submitted it to her and then kind of forgot about it. And then suddenly she reached out to me, and it was via Facebook because I reached out to her via Facebook. So and she hung on to it. She remembered it.
Once you were sure it was her, that must have been a really good message to find.
You know what? Yeah, I think it's one of the biggest things that happened with the group since the Oprah magazine article that was published back in 2018, I think it was. So this was even bigger, CBS Mornings.
Okay, I hadn't heard about this. Like, oh, by the way, it was published in the Oprah magazine too.
Yeah.
How did that come about?
One of the editors doing a story was actually raised with surrogate grandparents. And she came across the group, and she wanted to do a piece about it. And the people above her said, yeah, that's a great idea. So the article was about 5 different stories of forming families on social media. And mine was one of the 5 stories.
Wow.
That was very cool too.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's interesting. You weren't like cold calling.
No.
Like the different networks and stuff.
No.
These opportunities. You created an idea, it grew, and then these 2 opportunities.
Yeah.
Sort of naturally came your way.
Yeah, and I mean that's how these opportunities usually happen. It's when you least expect it, suddenly. Because I mean there were times I've reached out to a lot of people since the CBS thing. I've reached out to a number of people, and in fact, I'm just recently wrote an article that a magazine is going to publish in the next few months, which I'm very proud of.
Congratulations!
Thank you.
That's a big deal.
It is.
I almost didn't remember you said when we talked before that it's really important to you to use your voice more and more. Why is that important to you, Donna?
Grandparent alienation syndrome, estrangement. It's kind of a silent epidemic. There are a lot of grandparents, a lot of parents, they turn to support groups, but they don't talk about it. And they just feel like it really has to be out there in the open, but some of them don't want to talk about it. So it's a silent epidemic. Not enough people, they're just learning about it now, it seems like, even though it's been going on for years.
What of encouragement would you give to a grandparent or another family member who feels estranged or who's been estranged, who's been suffering in silence?
It's really hard to encourage because we all go through it differently, different emotions. And many feel alone. I just know that they're not alone. We're talking about millions of people all going through the same thing, feeling the same things. Sometimes they don't heal. Sometimes the relationships do heal. But just make the best of life with, and hope for the best. It's a tough road to take.
No, let's flip flip the coin. I know this is a tough question, but what would you say to a family member who for any one of a million reasons has cut another family member off?
Try to reconcile. Reach out to each other. Extend an olive branch. I mean, I don't understand why people don't talk to each other for years. It just doesn't make sense to me. You know, it's rejection, and no one likes to be rejected.
Yeah.
So just, yeah, I mean, life's not worth it to not talk to each other for the rest of our lives. It just, there's a void there that is a big gaping hole. It's empty. I don't think it'll ever be filled.
On my show, I ask all my guests this. I talk a lot about the power of doing an imperfect best, and what it means to me to do my imperfect best is I envision the best I want to create in my own life and offer the world around me, and then I go for it. And when mistakes, obstacles, uncertainties come up,
Mm-hmm.
as they often do, I try to learn from all that and move back towards my best.
Right.
What does doing your imperfect best mean to you, Donna?
Just, oh, you stumped me. My imperfect best. I can't answer that. Just being myself, being open, honest, hope for the best, realize there's going to be disappointments. We can get around them. That's all I can, hope for.
You just answered it beautifully. So you did answer that. Thank you so much. And and thanks for being on our Really Awesome podcast.
Thank you for having me.
Is there anything you want to leave viewers, leave people watching with before we go?
Love each other. Be kind to each other. Be good to each other. That's all we can hope for.
Thank you.
Yeah, go ahead.
You. Well, I'm sorry.
No, that's okay. I was finished.
Thank you for being you, Donna. Thank you for taking this really very painful situation and creating the goodness you have out of it, from holding babies in the hospital to creating this Facebook group through which so many people have found connection, hope, encouragement, and a voice for what they're going through. Thank you for being you.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
I'm going to end the show now, but please stay on. It takes everything a minute to upload, okay?
Okay.
Hey, thank you all for tuning in and thinking about what Donna is saying and about the struggle and the pain that she talked about, as well as all the ways she's healed and has promoted healing, and if the Facebook page resonates with you, please go there and see if it's something for you. And most of all, thank you for being you. Thank you for sharing your uniqueness with the world. And remember, you are the best and only one of you. Thank you. And of course, keep an eye out for future awkwardly awesome podcasts. One comes out just about every week. Thanks for watching, and thanks for your support and your care. We appreciate it. And talk to you later. Until next time.